Hello and welcome to another edition of the Pain and Panic podcast. I'm Chris Reynolds, joined by Adam Sheets. We just finished the Icy Hot Bowl. Two old QBs still gunslinging it down the field. Joe Flacco defeats Aaron Rodgers in what was surprisingly an offensive shootout. Adam, we're going to get to a lot. We're going to get to Week 7 picks. We're going to get to best defensive players in the NFL right now. But what did you make of this Thursday night football game between Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers? A surprisingly amazing, entertaining game.
Well, a couple things. First, I'm going to out myself. I wasn't paying too much attention to this. Blue Jays were playing today, so I had priorities. Of course, now 2-2 series. Road teams keep winning in that series. But, looking at this game, I think, first of all, shout out the Bengals. A whiteout team wins at home. First one we've seen in a while. Penn State couldn't do it. The Bills couldn't do it. Bengals get it done. So shout out to Cincinnati for being able to do that. But, I think, we could talk about a lot of angles, the struggles of the Steelers defense in this game, the Bengals being able to rally. Jamar Chase had a phenomenal game. But I think the story, even the game I was watching in baseball, the story of the day is the old guys. The old guys keep rolling. Joe Flacco slinging it like crazy, 300-plus yards. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns, including a miracle one to Pat Freiermuth to temporarily give the Steelers lead. Max Scherzer even feeding off that, unk vibe over in baseball, turning back the clock in his 500th career start for the Blue Jays, helping them get the win today. The old guys in the sports world stepping up in a huge way. Didn't peak at hockey. Don't know if the hockey old guys were representing as well today. But, it's great to see, them slinging it. It really felt like an old-time game, with Joe Flacco out there slinging it. I think he set a record. Jamar Chase now is the most completions to a receiver in a single game from Joe Flacco, passing Steve Smith, who I think was at 13 receptions from Joe Flacco in a game. Aaron looked good, had the 2 picks early, but was able to keep them in the game. The Steelers defense struggled. An old guy that did struggle was Jalen Ramsey. Didn't really have much going for him today, really getting picked apart. Joe Flacco attacking Jalen Ramsey. Didn't expect to hear that and it work out for Joe Flacco. But, shout out the old guys today. I think they deserve a lot of love.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. Joe Flacco's line, once again, it's really hard to imagine this. If you told me 342 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 31 of 47 passes, a 108.6 rating, and ESPN. And Jamar Chase, as you said, 16 catches. That's absurd, and I love to see it. Get the ball to your best players. That's a smart move. Bengals also, their defense, they picked off Rodgers twice. One of them wasn't really a pick, more so they took the ball off DK Metcalf's hands. That's a big guy. That's a strong guy. Taking the ball off his hands, that's pretty difficult to do. They did that. Jalen Warren was rushing the ball really well, but once they kind of got the lead, Warren was able to run a lot. But it was still a really good game, and kind of funny, Joe Flacco has just been all over this division, and teams still can't figure him out. And it seems like with Flacco with this team, this is the best case for them, where he's not going to be able to do a lot on the Browns. He can't run. He can't create in his own. You give him Jamar Chase?
Hey, hold up on that can't run. That read option play in the fourth quarter. Oh, boy.
His 5 carries for 3 yards today really stood out.
He had a big run in the fourth quarter when he pulled it on that option. I was like, what?
He did. Running? I saw that, and I thought it was a glitch in the screen. I don't know. But if you give him a bunch of options like Jamar Chase, like T. Higgins, he can do something with that. He can chuck the ball to. That's what they needed. That's what they have now. And the Bengals now are right behind the Steelers in the division. The Ravens only have 1 win of the year. They're going to a bye week. The Bengals are pretty close. If Burrow can come back sooner than later, they could actually win the division, make the playoffs, and then we're scared of the Bengals again. Their defense was pretty good. So that's the Bengals side. Adam, for this division, do you think it's kind of out of reach for the Bengals? Where do you see this division playing out with it's a weird situation where the best team is the worst record, and now we have this team that's good without their best player who's second, and maybe the worst of the 3 is top of the division.
I don't think the Steelers are running away with this division. I told you last week I thought the Steelers, I think everyone kind of overreacted. I think it was more of the other teams in their division on the fact that the Steelers really just won games they were supposed to win. And if you looked at in the preseason, they were winning games you expected them to win. So that's just what they were doing. But now you kind of look at it and it's like, I mean, they lose to the Bengals here. They're 4-2. Of course, the Ravens are 1-5, but I believe now the Bengals get to 3-4, so they're only a game or two back. So they have an opportunity to maybe steal back up into this thing. If Joe Flacco plays that way, I mean, they'll have chances in a lot of these games. And then the Ravens, I think, are the big winners today because they're 1-5, but they're getting Lamar back after the bye. Maybe they make some moves here defensively, maybe improve that defense, and then if they can start to get hot a little bit, they have that offense that can really go with Lamar coming back. They'll have an opportunity. I think this is a tough loss for Pittsburgh. I think Mike Tomlin, the way he was talking in the media, I'm not going to say he felt like this was going to happen, but he was not happy that Joe Flacco was traded from the Browns to the Bengals. He made that abundantly clear about how stupid it was that the Browns would do that. He was the benefactor of it last week because he got to play against Dylan Gabriel, but he was not happy. He let that be known, and Joe Flacco proved him right, I guess, in that situation.
I think he was kind of taking a shot at the Browns, saying he says they must be smarter than me, but like obviously kind of saying it's stupid to trade someone that good. If you think if they're good, you'd start them or trade in the division. I get his point. So it wasn't disrespectful to Flacco, but it is kind of funny that Flacco did beat him.
Yeah,
but it's not even like Tomlin saying anything bad to
Joe
like,
proved
about
him right.
Flacco.
Yeah, Joe proved him right because
Yeah,
Tomlin's like he's good, and Joe proved him right. So
the way Tomlin phrased it was really a win-win, honestly. But no, that was a great game by the Bengals, and in this game we saw T.J. Watt. We did not see Trey Hendrickson, but there's a lot of really good defensive players, and over the last few episodes we were ranking our top 5 of certain positions. Adam, I don't want to rank the top 5 best middle linebackers, but I will rank the top 5 defensive players with you. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go through, rank our top 5 players on the defensive end. Obviously, I'm going to be biased and push mostly people who sack the quarterback. I don't really care that much about the quarterbacks. I'm going to be honest. I'm sorry. Safeties, I'm sorry. I can't do it. But we're going to give our top 5. Adam, let's start with our 5, but before we do, we have to address 2 of the best defensive players. My favorite defensive player, Fred Warner, is hurt. So it's Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, both of which I think Fred Warner at least has to be a lock for the top 5. Bosa's probably like fringe. We're not going to include them. They're not playing the rest of the season. Not going to make it, but wanted to mention that before we did. So, Adam, I'll start with you. Who's number 5 on your list?
Well, I have some guys before we get to my number 5. I have some guys that were just off the list. So, just off the list for me, I have Dexter Lawrence, a defensive tackle, really, really good player for the Giants. I also have Jalen Carter just off my list. Brian Burns and Abdul Carter, I kind of put together. Brian Burns currently, Abdul Carter, kind of a projection on a guy who could really fly up the list. So they're guys that are just off my list as I'm trying to unblack my text here. But number 5 for me, I believe it's a guy you're probably not going to have. I have Max Crosby. Another guy just off my list is Aiden Hutchinson. I have him and Max Crosby. I'm keeping Hutchinson off just because of the injury last season, missing a whole year. Haven't seen it consistently. But I'm putting a guy like Max Crosby here. He's been phenomenal. He's been extremely impactful every year he has been with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's really been one of the only reasons the Raiders have been solid defensively. They don't have a lot around him on that defense and on the offensive side of the ball as well. I think he's been really good. I think he's been just everything they've needed him to be. So I got Max Crosby at my number 5.
I like Max Crosby. Did not make my list. He would have been an honorable mention. I do not have a whole list of honorable mentions. I have one player who I do not know what to do with. TJ Watt was my favorite player in the NFL on the defensive end for the last 5 years. Since he's been in the league, I think he's been amazing. And last year, I watched that Steelers-Atlanta game. He destroyed Kirk Cousins. I've never seen a defensive player single-handedly destroy an offense like he did last year. It might have only ended with 1 or 2 sacks, but you felt his presence every single play. Kirk Cousins could not handle it, and they won that game without scoring a touchdown. I saw that and I was like, all right, this guy's the best defensive player. He got paid as the best defensive player. Honestly, towards the end of last season and so far the beginning of this year, he has not played like a top 5 player on the defensive end. I don't have him in my top 5 yet. I think when he's at his best, he's the best player for all of them. But I need to mention that. And today, I mean, he was involved in 2 pressures all game. The Bengals have a bad O-line. I expect more from him if he's going to be that top guy. Now, my number 5, Patrick Surtain. He is my only defensive lineman really on here. He just won Defensive Player of the Year. He's on a stacked defense. I wanted to have someone who's not a defensive lineman on here, and he's clearly the best, and he just won the award. I think that's pretty easy to say.
Yeah, I agree. Pat Surtain's really good. I'll get to him when I get to him.
Okay,
Not yet, because my number
Okay.
4 is a guy you were just talking about. I got T.J. Watt as my number 4 player.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned a lot of good things. He's kind of taken a little step back. He hasn't been extremely statistically impactful, especially in the playoffs. He has a weird thing where he doesn't get a lot of plays in the playoffs. I don't know if he's being schemed out of it, but when you need a play, he seems to always be there, whether it be a strip sack, whether it be recovering a fumble, doing something. He forces turnovers along with getting to the quarterback and getting sacks. I believe he still has the record for the most sacks in a single season. He's really, really impactful coming off the edge. So I have T.J. Watt seeking my 4. All the concerns you mentioned, I completely understand. But I thought just off legacy alone and his ability, I think he could still do it. And we see splashes of that throughout the season as well this year and last season. Put T.J. Watt here at number 4.
Yeah, I think when he's right, I'd have him number 1. I wanted to put him on my top 5, but there's just too many good players.
He's the ultimate boomer bust guy.
Yeah, and I think like this year I'm trying to kind of judge off of, and I know people are gonna say it's still too early. We're more than a third of the way through the season now. Like we can't keep judging off of last year. We have to judge by what we see. So that's what I'm gonna say to that. My number 4. I have Jalen Carter. He did not make it for you. I'm not an Eagles fan. However, when Jalen Carter plays, they are a very different defense. When he's not there, the Eagles cannot get pressure on the quarterback, and that leaves their secondary exposed. I think this is kind of the part with the issue with TJ Watt is now that they kind of have lost in the overall defense, TJ Watt could kind of be schemed against, whereas before you couldn't really block him because they had so many other options that they had to take care of. Now, though, with the situation in the Eagles, if Jalen Carter plays, pressure's on the quarterback, they have to throw it quickly and make mistakes. If he doesn't play, there's just no one that could really change the game on the defensive end for the Eagles. I think he's so impactful. Week 1, the Cowboys almost beat him without him. I don't think he played last week, did he? I don't think he did when they lost.
No, he did not.
Yeah, they lost again without him. Very different team with him without him. I think he means a lot to his team, and I think that's a very easy cause and effect to see. So I honored him by putting him in the top 5.
So my only pushback for Jalen Carter is: have you looked at his stats this season?
I don't really look at stats for defensive players.
He has 10 total tackles. 10 total tackles. 0 sacks. Only 3 solo tackles.
It's a good point.
Yeah. He's done nothing. And also, another thing, one of the best abilities is availability, and he's missed 2 games. One, because he was hurt. The other one was not because he was hurt.
Because he spit on Dak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is his fault, but, he was available. He just got kicked out. But
no, that's what I said. Best ability is
it
availability.
wasn't his fault he got,
you got to make sure
it is his fault, but, it wasn't like he got injured, so
yeah.
I don't know. But
you got to make sure you can play.
Listen, I think for him, we know the talent's there, and I think the Eagles look so different defensively with or without him.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I kind of mean by that. I think was clear after last week.
I have Jalen Carter kind of... I mean, he's obviously ahead of the other Carter I'm going to mention, but Abdul Carter on guys that are really impactful, but you're going to see 3 years from now, they're near the top of this list, maybe number 1. I think he's one of those guys that in a couple years, he's going to be near the top of this list just off impact, as long as the off-the-field stuff stays away from where it's sometimes been with him. For me, my number 3, it's a guy you had at number 5. I do have Pat Surtain the second. Want to make sure we put the second. His dad was a great player as well, so we got to make sure we honor that this is the second Pat Surtain to come into the league.
Patrick Surtain Sr.
He's also the only corner I have on my list. Sauce Gardner got some consideration, but he hasn't been super great this season consistently. But now Pat Surtain has been phenomenal. I think he's the most impactful secondary player. I think he's one of the few guys in the league you see teams scheme around in the secondary. I don't think you see it a lot with other guys right now. Pat Surtain's that impactful. He made some big plays. Nearly had a forced fumble last week against the Jets in London. So I think everything you said and more, reigning defensive player of the year. He's a special player, and I have him at number 3.
Yeah. It's just for me, he probably is better at his position than some of these other guys are at their position. But his impact is just less at the quarterback position, in my opinion. that's why I think it's just harder for me to rank him above some of those guys. But he is obviously like probably a 99 overall.
I'm a big corner guy. I'm a huge corner guy. The guy I consider maybe the best player to ever play football played corner. So that's just
All right, is this have anything to do with your fact that your team traded up to like
no,
pick number
no.
two to
It has
draft a
nothing to do
corner?
with Travis Hunter. It has nothing to do with Travis Hunter. It has
I
more to
know.
do with the fact that I think
He's the guy you're talking about, your favorite player?
No, Deion Sanders. I think Deion Sanders might be the best player that's ever played
Wait,
football.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Deion's your favorite player, but you hate Colorado that much?
I like Deion the player. I didn't say anything about Deion the coach. I didn't say
Adam, I
anything.
never knew that about you.
No, I
For all
think
this
well,
time,
'cause
you were
I
a
said
Deion fan.
Deion Sanders is the only player truly in the NFL that has impacted offense, defense, and special teams. Because he played both ways, and that he
I
was
honestly can't.
special
Your
teams.
points are fine. I just can't get it through my head that you were a fan of
love Deion. Love
Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just not as a coach, and I have some nightmares that he might end up as Penn State's head coach, and I don't know how I'll handle it. So
This just kind of blew my brain, but whatever. Anyways, my number 3 did not make your list. Aiden
No.
Hutchinson, you said because of his injury last year. I think that's fair, but before he got injured, he was up there statistically as a sack leader. This year, PFF ranks him number 2 amongst all defensive linemen, I think, or defensive ends. He's really good. And on a Lions team where they always lose people, they manage to stay decent despite losing half their team, it feels like, to injury. If he's healthy, I think he's a top 5 player. I right now have him number 3. You could talk me to like TJ Watt on a good day being better or Nick Bosa being better. But as of right now, I actually think Aiden Hutchinson, number 3 on my list. Only 2 guys ahead of him, and I think he honestly, I think because he's young and he just has all this energy, we always see his impact. And when I saw him in person, when he was in Michigan, he was clearly bigger and better than every other player on the field. It looked like he was just Adam.
They should have lost that. They should have lost that game. I think you're missing a big point. They should have lost that game.
Our sophomore year, was that? No, not that one.
I'm talking about. He was there in 2021. Arnold Ebiketie had a strip sack that set up Penn State, and they tie game with the ball in the red zone. They settled for 3, and then Kalen King and I think Tariq Castro Fields ran into each other, set up a big touchdown for Michigan to give them the lead, and they won 21-17. Penn State should have won that game.
I just remember looking at the field. I remember it's freezing, but I looked out, and there was one guy bigger than everyone else, and it was Aiden Hutchinson. And it just looked like one kid that got held back in grade school, and that was Aiden Hutchinson in college. Goes to the pros. He's been amazing ever since. Besides the injury, he'd be a flawless start to a career. I have him number 3.
I'm a little salty. He probably should have been the number 1 pick to Jacksonville the year they drafted Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker's been good, though. Trayvon Walker has been good.
I was going to ask, I never talked to you about that, but I'm kind of surprised they did not pick Aiden Hutchinson. What was...
Trayvon Walker had higher upside, better athlete, like higher up. And he's showing that a little bit. He's had flashes this year. Over the last 2 years, he's really come into his own as a pass rusher. But he was a big project. He didn't play. Kirby rotates a lot of guys at Georgia, so a lot of these guys don't play a lot of snaps. That's why Nolan Smith fell in the draft to Philly because they didn't have a lot of tape on him. Saw that with some other guys. I would have taken Aiden Hutchinson too. I'm just explaining why they took Trayvon Walker.
I get the higher upside in theory, but in this specific scenario, Aiden Hutchinson's upside is maybe the best edge in the NFL. What was his floor? A good defensive edge? Aiden Hutchinson's upside is just as high as anyone else's.
Yeah. So I think Trayvon Walker ran a 4.3 40 or something insane too. So that's why he's a combine guy. That's what. And Jacksonville had a different front office that valued that. Kind of stuff.
I think if they could do it over, they would. Adam, who's your number 2?
My number 2, I forget what order I put these guys in. Oh, now I got it. Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons at number 2. I think his impact, the contract speaks for itself. Of course, he's the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the league. He's extremely good. He's made an impact on Green Bay. They already have one of the best defenses in the league. I think he's going to continue to get better. I think a lot of people, when they look at Micah, think he's a finished product. He's still young. He's only 26, so he's going to continue to get better. He's only played 4 years. This is year 5 for him, and you see the impact he can have, not just on the stat sheet, but the way he forces teams to shift their coverage, move the running backs, keep them into block, and all things like that. So I have Micah Parsons sitting at my number 2, and I believe, figuring the 2 guys you don't have on your list yet, we probably have the same top 2.
We have the same top 2 and in the same order. I would love to put Micah Parsons first. However, sometimes I compared to number one, I think Michael Parsons might have a few plays where I just kind of forget about him. Whereas the guy at number one, I swear, just sometimes just looks like no one can do anything. Michael Parsons is great. I think he'll be number one soon.
Yes.
He's of these guys, he's like about to enter his prime. Most of these guys that we said have either been young or at their prime. Micah's the only one like about to enter it. On the right day, he's just as good as anyone. And I think we saw that with the fact that the Packers traded for him and gave him a gigantic deal, proving that the money speaks, saying he will be the best player. I don't know if he needs to say more about him. He's great, but number one, I think, is better. I'm assuming it's the same guy. If it's not the same guy, you're kind of insane. I'll just say it. Myles Garrett, Cleveland Browns.
What, really? Really? I had Joshua Hines Allen. Like, what are we talking about here?
I knew it. I knew
No,
it,
I have the same as you.
Did you have Travis Hunter?
No, I have Myles Garrett. Travis Hunter's if we're doing best players, but because he plays two positions. So
Taysom Hill plays three.
Yeah,
receiver, running back, quarterback. Oh, tight end.
Play defense. Two different sides of the ball.
He plays, but no. Taysom Hill's blocked a field goal before. He plays defense.
Oh, special teams. Yeah, special teams.
That counts. That counts.
Well, Travis Hunter could, but Parker Washington's the best punt returner in the league. So.
Genuinely speaking, Taysom Hill might be one of the most skilled football players to do everything. Not even trying to be funny. Anyways, now to the real celebrity, Myles Garrett. He's great. He's that guy that he was bigger than everyone, and then he went to the NFL, and he's still bigger than everyone. He's a beast. He got a big deal, and he's in his prime right now. Probably, I would imagine, at the end, because if this keeps going, that would be crazy. Number 3 on Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Focus had Michael 1, Aiden Hutchinson 2, Myles Garrett 3. So,
how about this? How about a lot of people were mad at PFF because for their grades. I was going to mention this. PFF graded Myles Garrett, I believe, the highest rated player in the Steelers-Browns game. Myles Garrett did not record a single statistic.
Adam, it's not about statistics.
But it was like there were like people actually that watched the game, like true football people that said he wasn't really impacting the game. It was like, so like they were really confused. That's why everyone said PFF does a lot of great things. They said, but you don't have to always release the grades of individual players. You just don't have to.
That's the point. It's just nice to see if they look at his every single play. Even if he doesn't get a sack, it's nice to know that he gets
They also had Aaron
rewarded.
Rodgers through 4 weeks rated the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Adam, I don't know what goes into those rankings, man.
I don't know either, because I've seen a lot worse quarterbacks than Aaron Rodgers this season, at least. Like Jake Browning. Geno Smith. You're not going to say Geno Smith after everything you've said? Geno Smith?
No, Geno's been pretty bad, yeah.
Kyler Murray?
I'm not okay. Listen, I'm off Kyler. I don't want to acknowledge that he's bad yet, but
yeah.
Anyways, honestly, because he's so good and Mike is like we both want to be that good, it's kind of a boring at the top because it's pretty unanimous there.
Yeah,
I think people could argue too. I think number one's pretty locked up right now is Myles Garrett, considering TJ Watt's slightly down. If TJ Watt was playing like it was 2 years ago, I think TJ versus Myles Garrett would be a fun battle.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. I think Myles Garrett, the one thing I've always said about him is he was the number 1 pick in 2017, and not many people have questioned it. That's also the draft Patrick Mahomes was in, and not many people question. Well, because the weird part is, do you know that they could have drafted Myles Garrett and Patrick Mahomes? They traded the Mahomes pick to Kansas City.
Yeah. Did you know that the Saints were going to take Mahomes to be the Drew Brees replacement?
Yeah, they would have sat for a while, though. That would have been dangerous.
It would have been it would have probably, considering Brees' career would have been 1 year. Year 2, Brees got hurt, and then year 3, Brees goes out, Mahomes comes in.
Man, wow, so you would have gave up on 2020. Man, wouldn't have had Brees versus Brady in the playoffs.
I would have had Michael Thomas, Patrick Mahomes, and Alvin Kamara like Thomas in his prime, Kamara in his prime with the
but they would have lost. They would have still lost to the Bucs because Mahomes couldn't beat Brady in the playoffs.
Stop it. Saints had a good O-line. Anyways, moving on now. Upset of the week. Adam, who did we do last week?
We both got it wrong. Let's check. I had
the Dolphins beating the Chargers. The Dolphins scored at the very...
you did not have the Dolphins beating the Chargers. You had the Lions over the Chiefs, by the way.
Oh, that was my game picks. I had Lions over Chiefs. Yeah, that killed me too.
Yeah, you had Lions over Chiefs.
I changed mine at the last second.
Initially, you had the Bengals and the Packers, and you were taking the 14.5. So you ended up losing 1 total point because you would have just got one for the cover.
I played the cover. You yelled at me.
Yeah, because
I
said
changed it.
Well, because you picked the Lions outright. I said, why don't you just pick them straight up? And then you're like, okay.
Listen, I actually wish I picked the Bengals this week because I saw the game.
I thought about it.
I liked the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers went up 10-0. I bet on the Bengals. They were plus 300 to win the game. I bet on them at plus 300, and I won. I was so happy.
Yeah.
And I could do that, but I can't do that for a weekly episode. It's crazy.
Well, you could. I mean, you on Monday you could have said, you
I know, Adam, but
we also did a special episode on Wednesday for basketball. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. But for
basketball.
NBA preview, you could have also thrown it in there. It's not like we didn't post.
I should have. I didn't even know who was playing on Thursday. I wasn't very quick checked in, but no, like this game was the easiest game ever. I did a live bet for Jamar Chase to score a touchdown, Bengals to win the game. It hits, and I'm like, I'm a genius. And then I'm like below 500 in our weekly picks. It's terrible.
Yeah. It hasn't been fun for us, but upset picks now. We're ready to lock in.
Yeah, what's the score right now? Who has more?
We both have 13. We're both 3-3.
We're tied?
Yeah, we're both 3-3 overall. Okay. No covers yet for either of us, but we're both 3-3.
Adam, I'll let you go first.
All right. So I'm 3-3, but I'm 3-0 picking the state of Florida. I've been riding with the Florida boys, and I'm going to ride with them again. Bucks plus 5.5 on Monday night in Detroit against the Lions. Doubleheader Monday night. This is the early one, 7 o'clock. Of the Lions secondary, they have a lot of injuries right now. Some guys were missing in that Kansas City game, and of course, Brian Branch, trying to get that boxing career started up. So, he's working on that right jab. So he's suspended for this game. So he's going to be out. I know there's a lot of injuries with Tampa as well. Emeka Egbuka might be out. Mike Evans reportedly coming back this week on Monday night.
Maybe.
Yeah, Chris Godwin's going to be out most likely as well. So a lot of injuries. But honestly, with the way this guy's been playing, with the way Baker's playing, it don't matter. It don't matter who's playing. Heck, I could be playing receiver. I think Baker would hit me right in between the numbers. I mean, that's what he's been able to do all year long. I think it's going to be a close game, and if you give Baker the ball in a close game and a chance, he's going to make it happen. And also, Jared Goff, when they get behind and they have to rely on his arm, it hasn't been extremely consistent. So I'm taking the Bucks here, plus 5.5. So I'm also getting some points here, maybe a backdoor cover here for Tampa as well. So rolling with Tampa this week.
I stayed away from this game because Egbuka has been their best receiver, and he's gone now. Mike Evans might play. This was his first practice in a while, coming off a hamstring injury, and he's older. I think they're probably going to play him because he has an extra day, and they need him desperately. I'll also say it's in Detroit. Detroit's way better at home. That is true.
Tez Johnson.
Tez Johnson.
Backflips.
Had a good catch.
And Sterling Shepard has been really good this year.
He has been solid. However, they are really depleted out receiver. Mike Evans, I think, is a great deep option paired next to someone else who could get a lot of the shorter passes. He is not going to have that this week.
Cade Otton.
I'm not going to buy into this Cade Otton, Mike Evans. I like the Bucks. I know you love the Bucks. Considering the game's in Detroit, coming off a loss, give me the Lions in that one.
Yeah, the Lions.
And I would say they could cover Adam, but here's the thing about Detroit: they don't play to just win. They play to destroy you. If they're up by 7, they're still going to try to score another touchdown.
I'm also. I didn't even mention this. The Lions are still talking about the Chiefs game. They're still talking about the Chiefs game and all that. Their mind's not in this one. They're a little distracted. Bucks are locked in.
That's the best point you've made. I'm not even joking.
And also, let's talk about this. You keep saying how Detroit's a tough place to play. It's not like a rookie quarterback could go in there in the playoffs and hang 40-some and, beat them at home. That could not happen, right? They would definitely get at least to the NFC Championship to play Philly. Right? Yeah. Give us a game to watch in the NFC Championship instead of just watching Philly boat race Washington. Nah.
That was bad. Now my pick. So you're going to yell at me because it's only 1.5 points. But considering I'm picking an undefeated team, or so not undefeated, a winless team to get their first win, this deserves some credit. Yeah. And it's 1.5, so it's not like they're going to cover and not win. I think they're going to win. The Panthers are at New York to play the Jets. I did a short about how the Jets are so terrible.
Yes, you did.
The only thing maybe worse than the Jets are the Panthers on the road. I think the Jets fans, they still show up. And credit to them. I would not. I'm not a Jets fan, but I would not show up. They still do. And I do feel bad for their fans. I feel bad for their English fans in England. But I think this is when they get their first win. The Panthers are really bad. Bryce Young is terrible on the road. The Panthers have a knack for scoring late to try to make comebacks. However, I think the Jets really want a win. They're so desperate. If the Jets were 2-4, give me the Panthers, honestly. They're desperate. Give me the Jets. Adam, I don't want to hear about the 1.5. I'm picking Justin Fields and the Jets to win their first game. Justin Fields and the Jets to win their first game.
Lazy spread. First of all, you're flip-flopping on that side of the screen. I just don't get. Every week, he's like, I don't like this team. And then guess what? I'll come right back and pick them.
I have never liked the Panthers, and I've openly stated that the Jets I don't like. But
you were raving about Rico Dowdle on Sunday.
Rico Dowdle has 400 yards in his last 2 games.
He's playing.
He's playing, but you know what? If he's playing like that, then give me the Panthers. But I don't think that's going to happen a third week in a row.
Also, Chris, you're a gambling man. I'm not.
I am not really.
I watch the games, but
I do $2 bets, and it makes me feel alive a little bit.
I don't know what the over/under is, but I would stay away from this with like a 30-foot pole, because the moment you take the under, this is 35-31, and the moment you take the over, it's 13-10. Whatever way you go, it's gonna go the opposite this week. So, just a
probably. I honestly don't want to do gambling advice because I don't gamble with actual money that would be impactful to me.
Yeah,
I do $2, and then I'm like, wow, the Bengals won, yes, and then that makes me feel invested more.
Smart man.
Thank you.
All right, ready to go into game picks.
My last point, Rico Dowdle has been amazing. That's all I'm going to say. Give me the Jets, though. Now, game picks.
There you go.
We're going to go through every other game that we haven't talked about.
We need a standings update. We do
not need a standing update, but people know we don't need to talk about it.
You're 63% on the year. That's not horrible. I'm 67%.
It's bad. We're not picking against the spread. We're just picking winners. That's terrible.
I'm 67%. We're picking. We get more right than we get wrong. I'm 4 games up on Chris. We both went 9-6 last week. Monday night was a disaster for both of us. Okay, now you're good to go.
You know what my issue is by the time it comes to Sunday, I change my mind on things, and then I'm like, I should have thought about this more, but instead I don't know.
You picked the recording schedule.
I did, but no one's gonna listen to a Saturday podcast right before football.
We're busy watching college football. Big one, Missouri Auburn this
college
week.
College football's over for me.
SEC Network, Missouri. Oh, there's actually some good ones. Ole Miss, Georgia this week. Who else? But Tennessee, Alabama's this week. 3rd Saturday in October. Yeah,
well, we're just going to wash out Steelers, Bengals. We did not make a pick, and I'm upset because I would have picked the Bengals. I think you might have too, though, honestly.
No, we both picked the Steelers. Sorry, bud.
Did we actually pick them?
Yes, we did this. Dude, do you even watch back the episodes? What are we doing here?
I put the episodes on my TV, and then I have them on in the background while I do work.
Yes, we both picked the Steelers, and we got it wrong.
Well, you see, by the time the game started, I was all in on the Bengals. That's really disappointing. All right, let's think about this. Jags, Rams at Jacksonville, but it's in London.
Yes.
However, the Jaguars kind of do have somewhat of a home field advantage in London.
You want some... I think this is going to come out. I think the Jags are going to play at least 3, maybe 4 games in London in 2027 because their stadium's under renovation. I think they're going to split their home games between London and Orlando, Florida. So I think they're going to play an extended schedule in London coming up. But it's in London, my second home. Trevor's good in London. The Jags are good in London. The Rams have spent the whole week in Baltimore, so these guys are just itching to get home. They haven't slept in their own bed in a while. Plus, they're cursed. Because did you see what Matthew Stafford did? He was on the mound at Camden Yards, and he had his cleats on the tarp. Not allowed to do it. Not my quarterback. Not my All-American. Not my All-American. Some of us are still watching baseball. Blue Jays, 2-2. Let's ride. But no, I'm taking Jacksonville. I'm not going to pick against my own team in London. I haven't picked against them yet this year. They're 4-2. I think in London, the Rams have some injury questions as well. So give me Jacksonville.
I'm also going with the Jags, which is rare for us. However, very different reason. Puka Nacua has not played both practices this week. Next week, the Rams run a bye. Makes a lot of sense to rest Puka this week. Next week's the bye. Comes back healthy the next week. I don't think Puka plays. If Puka does not play, I don't know what that Rams offense is. It did not look pretty last week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to pick it. Give me the Jags. Also, like you said, somewhat of a home game for them. Even though it technically is their home game, but like you get the point.
Also, the flight's probably not going to help Puka's injury either.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Next game, Saints at Chicago Bears. Bears are favored by 4.5, Adam. I mean, we're just picking in general, but that seems kind of big to me. I don't know.
This is a letdown spot for Chicago after the emotional win on Monday night. But
That's what I'm thinking.
The game's in Chicago. You mentioned how Detroit likes to blow people out. Well, where did Ben Johnson come from? I think they're going to try to let this be an offensive showcase. Spencer Rattler's playing well, but give me the Bears.
Give me the Bears. I think the Saints cover. I think the Saints are the best one-win team of all the options besides the Ravens, but they're injured right now. So, I mean, right now it's currently constructed. I think the Saints are a really good one-win team.
Word.
I think they'd cover, but just win-loss, give me the Bears. I'm not going to pick the Saints probably ever again in the season, but whatever. We are in agreement there on the Bears. Next one, Dolphins at Browns. Adam.
This is a scary. Have you seen the weather report for this game? It is
very
ugly.
windy, I hear.
It is ugly, but I am going to take the Dolphins. I think I'm worried about it, but I think Devon Achane is going to be able to get on the ground. I think they're going to do, like, the one thing about the Dolphins is they do a lot of quick passes with Tua just out in the flats trying to get it out. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I think maybe Dylan Gabriel in the elements makes some mistakes, so give me the Dolphins.
I was going to pick the Dolphins, but A, I want to be different, but B, I'll talk myself into it. Give me the Browns. The Browns are favored. The Browns are favored, which is kind of surprising, but they have Judkins, who's been a very solid running back. The Dolphins have one of the worst run defenses in the league. Maybe the worst. If it's not the worst, it's the second worst to the Cowboys.
Yep.
Judkins should have a good game. You look at the pass game, they don't need to pass. Don't worry about it. The Dolphins, however, they have Achane, but they usually do a lot of short passes. Passes are going to be harder this week. Also, too, the Browns have a good defense. They know what's happening. They're at home. Give me the Browns to beat the Dolphins. Last week I said the Dolphins, that was the only time I'd pick them and like to upset someone. I can't do it again. I said that was my only time. So I'm going to stay consistent. Give me the Browns. You're taking the Dolphins.
Fair. Yep. I'll roll with Tua and the boys. I'm fine with that. Jalen Waddle, baby. I'll waddle.
Right. Next one. Patriots at Titans. I'll make the case. New coach theory. Whenever a team fires their coach, that next week, this usually bad team balls out with this new interim coach for 1 week, just to give a little sting to their last coach that they just fired. Besides that one argument, I'm having a really tough time supporting the Titans. Adam, who are you going with?
That coach theory is going to work for a team and hopefully in Iowa City this weekend. But it's the Patriots because I think you're missing. There's a new coach theory, but there's also a revenge game theory. Who's the head coach of the Patriots? So he's going back to Tennessee. So I think Mike Vrabel and those boys, they are playing really good football right now. They had their letdown spot against the Saints, were able to get the win. Now they go to Tennessee, and I think they just roll in this one. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, Drake May looked great against the Saints, and he looked amazing before that against Buffalo. I think the Patriots are finding their rhythm. I did not think the Titans are actually going to win. I'm just saying, there is a new coach theory. Then
take them. Stop
I'm just saying, if there was ever a time to fully put it to the test, it's right now this week.
You're 4 games back. Do it.
No, do it. I'm not doing that. No. Wow. You forcing me to take games. I forced you to take the Colts who won, and you forced me to take the Saints who lost.
I'm better at this.
Doing it. I'm better. I'm not doing this. No. Both taking the Pats. Raiders at Chiefs. Adam. Raiders at Chiefs. Who you got?
Chiefs by 1 million. Rashee Rice is going to have a really good game.
I don't think this is going to be the Chiefs by 1 million. For some reason, the Raiders just oddly bother the Chiefs. I feel like the games are close. But it is Rashee Rice's first game back. The offense was looking better anyways. I like Genty. I think he looks good. It's really the fact that Geno Smith looks terrible some games, and on the road in Arrowhead, I don't want it. Give me the Chiefs as well. Next one, Eagles at Vikings. Tough one. Eagles 2 straight losses. Make it 3.
If it doesn't happen this week, it's not going to happen, but it's going to happen. I think the Eagles get the win. I don't know who's playing quarterback. I think JJ's back. I think JJ McCarthy will be back this week. I don't know. I haven't really looked at the injury report for Minnesota, but I don't even know if that helps him right now because JJ kind of struggled for a little bit. And I'm the biggest JJ McCarthy guy there is, at least on this podcast. But nope, I'm taking the Eagles here. I think they bounce back. I think they find a way to run the ball. Don't know if they'll solve the passing game, but I think Saquon finally gets loose. I don't know if it's a 200-yard game, but gets over 100 yards, kind of has a decent game. Give me the Eagles.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to pick them, but I feel stupid anytime I don't pick the Eagles.
Yeah.
I wish I knew who the quarterback was going to be. I'm going to play it safe and pick the Eagles for now. However, if it's not J.J. McCarthy and it's Carson Wentz, I might like Carson Wentz and the Vikings. I won't lie, but I'm just going to say Eagles no matter what.
Just take them. Take them.
No.
Come on.
I'm not going to do it. But there's now pages of Eagles fans against A.J. Brown showing all the targets to him. He's not open.
Well, he was open on the pick and the interception when he tried to throw it to Dotson last week.
So the argument could be, well, either he's not running routes super hard because he's not getting the ball, or is he just not explosively getting open, so there's no reason, like, they're not going to throw him the ball if he's not open. I think
he's A.J. Brown.
That's just turmoil to me.
He's A.J. Brown. He's always open. Just throw it up and he'll make a play.
He can do that, but you would like to see him open and doing that. He's not really open, so my point is, now they're seeing those posts from Eagles pages. They're getting upset at him. Turmoil's brewing. It's not looking good.
Yeah, it's the Eagles. The turmoil is always brewing. My gosh, they almost got rid of everyone last year. Like, Nick Sirianni was getting fired after 4 weeks, and then they won the Super Bowl. So,
next one, Panthers at Jets. I already said the Jets. Adam, you joining me?
Nope, Carolina. Give me Carolina. I'll go Bryce Young. I'll roll with my boy, my Alabama guy. I was actually at the draft he got drafted at. So I have a lot of respect for Bryce Young and everything he's done. Rico Dowdle's playing really well, and I think Chuba Hubbard's coming back. So now you have 2 running backs that can really do it, so they can balance the load here. Rico doesn't have to be force-fed.
Chuba they don't need to balance it. Rico Dowdle was fine.
Yeah, but it's not a revenge game for Rico Dowdle this week, and he's not playing Jets. Maybe a little better run defense than the Dolphins and the Cowboys. But I'll take the Panthers here. I think they get their first road win. I like what they're doing.
Well, speaking of first road wins, the Giants play in Denver against the Broncos. You want to pick another first road win? Giants beat the Broncos?
Nope, I do not. I'm going to take the Broncos. I'm a big Broncos fan on this side of the show. So, look, I looked at their schedule, and remember I said before the season that they would miss the playoffs and have a losing record. Went through their schedule now after the Eagles win. I think they're going to get to 10-7. So I guess I'm going to be wrong. Sad.
Really? You have the Giants going 10-7?
No, not the Giants. The Broncos going.
The
Giants ain't going. Come on now.
Adam, you picked the Broncos to have a losing record?
You remember week 1 overreactions? Jeez,
overreactions? Are they actually truthful? I don't know.
Well, I picked them to miss the playoffs before the season too.
That is true.
But no, I think the Broncos get the win here. I think. Look, they had a bad week against the Jets. Usually that means a bounce-back week. Plus, the Broncos' defense did not have a bad week, and that defense can play with anyone. I think they give Jackson Dart and those rookies on the Giants side fits.
Yeah, I think they're really good at getting pressure. They did have that game, and it's an international game. Always weird stuff happens. I don't read too much into it. Give me the Broncos as well. Next one, Colts at Chargers. Adam, this one gives me a little trouble picking. Who you got?
Chargers. I need it.
Wow.
I need it. I need it. Selfishly, I need it because the Jags are a game back in the division. So really would have liked the Cardinals to pull off that upset last week. They're right there. We're not able to get it done. But I think the Chargers, last 2 weeks have been weird. They're able to steal the game against Miami. I think they're starting to learn how to play without the tackles. So I think that's huge. I think they're going to find a way to run the ball this week. But give me the Chargers here. I think they pull off the upset at home. And remember, Colts.
It's not an upset. The Chargers are favored, my guy.
They are favored, but still an upset. 5-1. 5-1 versus a team that's got multiple losses. So, I think people would be, surprised that the Colts lose a game. And also, Colts, some mental fog in that stadium. That's their one loss occurred in that stadium, and A.D. Mitchell fumbled the ball into the end zone.
But the Rams had about probably 1,000 fans there, and the Chargers have 5 fans.
They're used to it. They're used to playing on the road. No,
No, the Chargers are. But I'm saying the Colts though, like it's different environment for them. Okay, now they have no fans in the stands for either team. Give me the Colts. I'm going to disagree with you. I think the Colts, Danny Dimes, maybe not electric like he was the first 2 weeks, but he's still been very good at getting the best players the ball. Jonathan Taylor's been probably at worst the third best running back in the league this season. Michael Pittman's really good. A.D. Mitchell, revenge against the stadium. He's going to get it.
yeah.
Give me the Colts. I like them a lot this week because I like them every week. I'm not picking against them.
All right, you can pick them to go 16-1, and we'll see what happens. Okay?
Thank you. I'm sorry. For the honest, I'm trying to laugh, but the allergies make my lungs not work. So we're wheezing over here.
Yeah.
Commanders at Cowboys. This is going to be one of the most fun games, hopefully, of the season. An offensive shootout, most likely. In terms of who's going to win, I think I know, but just watching the game, enjoying the players on the field, I'm excited. I'll give my pick first.
Oh, you want to go first?
I don't want you to mess me up.
I know who I'm taking, so it's like you're not going to change my mind. So
Fine,
I don't even have much to say.
Then you go first.
Commanders, enough said.
Me too. And the Commanders lost last week, and I always like a team coming off a loss. If they can rebound from it, they come out more motivated. The Cowboys also just lost.
I was going to say.
But I'm gonna say if the Commanders won and the Cowboys lost, I would have picked the Cowboys. But because the Commanders just lost 2, I think the Commanders are better. However, no, I don't know if Terry McLaurin's going to play this week. He's played like twice all year.
Doesn't matter. Bill Krosky-Martin's going to have a big game.
But not even running wise, but you need to score a lot of points. And the Cowboys built this offense to just completely try to counteract how bad their defense is.
You want me to persuade you? CeeDee Lamb's back.
Give me the Cowboys.
There you go.
Give me the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's playing so well. Even without CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens has been great. So, give me the Cowboys. You're talking me into it. I love Jaden Daniels. That's always my problem. Great Packers at Cardinals. Adam, I don't know if we have to spend more than 2 seconds on this. Give me the Packers.
Go, Pack, go.
Okay. Glad we're on the same page. I don't care who's starting for the Cardinals. I don't think it makes a difference.
Oh, Jacoby Brissett's balling, brother.
Played better than Kyler ever has this season. Falcons at Niners. Sunday night game. We don't know who's even going to be the quarterback for the Niners. Adam, who do you got?
I mean, I wish the game was still at Candlestick Park, but it's at Levi's Stadium. Such a better name. Candlestick Park.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. But now I'm taking the Niners here. I think Kyle Shanahan's the better coach. I think the Falcons, on a short week for the Falcons after the Monday night game and the very good win for them against the Bills, but I think the Falcons get the win. No, the Niners get the win. Falcons coming across country. I know they're birds, but they don't fly that easily. So I like the Niners here. Brock Purdy, I believe, is going to play this week, so I like the Niners.
This one's tough for me. The Falcons are a lot better at home in a dome. They're playing a night game outdoors across the whole country.
Yeah, that tough cold weather of San Francisco, California.
Okay, it's not going to be that cold, but it's going to be outdoors. It could be like windy, whatever. Like, they're not in a dome.
Yeah.
They just had a great win. And the Falcons are a team who kind of win and have a great win, and then they suck the next week. However, Brock Purdy has barely played. If he does play, I don't know if he's going to be looking great. If Mac plays, he's going to be limping around the field. Give me the Falcons. I'll take them. Give me the Falcons. I like them. I like Bijan Robinson a lot, and I'm mostly banking on him and Drake London.
Look, I'm not going to try to change your pick, but I am going to remind you that I thought the Falcons-Bills game, with that win in prime time, it reminded me of another prime time win the Falcons had this year when they beat the Vikings. And then the very next week, they played a game in Carolina, and they lost 30-0. I'm just not going to try to talk you out of it.
Win against the Bucks, or not the Bucks, against the Vikings, that was a terrible game. Penix did nothing. It was really just like the run game and field goals.
Yeah, defensive game. Defensive
That's a
game.
game, but I don't think like they kicked butt like they did against the Bills
Yeah,
the other week.
they will beat the Vikings 22-6. They scored a whopping 24 points against Buffalo. So yeah,
Okay,
congrats.
but they were scoring touchdowns, not field goals. I think that matters. I think
Man.
Bijan looked great. Drake London looked amazing.
So they
Both
actually
those
moved the
guys were
ball
absurd.
better against the Vikings because they scored more possessions they scored on.
I don't care about that. About field goals, Adam. Talking touchdowns.
Yeah, those touchdowns got them 2 more total points.
And honestly, Drake London basically scored one that didn't count because he stepped out of bounds at the half-a-yard
Whose
line.
fault's that?
No one's fault, but I'm just saying they looked so much better offensively than the Vikings game. That's a fact.
Yeah, cool. Not when the Niners
All right.
win. I'm going to say I tried.
All right. 2 more. Bucks at Lions. You already said the Bucks are your pick. I told you I disagree. Lions at home after a loss. Just disagree there. Lions are favored in that one 5.5. Ooh,
Yep.
5.5, Adam.
That's the line I took.
Honestly, that's a little rich. It's a little rich for my blood for it if we had to pick the line, but we don't. So
Can't
Lions for me.
believe you're taking against. I pick a Florida team and upset
Hey,
picks. They went
Listen,
outright.
if Ibuka was playing, you could convince me of anything, but
I'm gonna play against the numbers here, man. 3-0, picking Florida.
okay.
3-0.
I'm not going to believe that whole thing. Last one, Texans at Seahawks. I don't know what to do with the Seahawks, or not the Seahawks. I don't know what to do with the Texans.
There you go.
Listen, it's been a long day, okay? I have a nosebleed, my nose is clogged, I'm wheezing through my mouth. It's got so much going on. I was mowing a lawn all day. The Buccaneers, Adam, you just messed me up now. Where
Texans
was I?
Seahawks. We're at Texans
Texans-
Seahawks.
The Texans have no idea if they're good offensively. I have no idea. They have no O-line. They have some good weapons, but they genuinely have the worst offensive line. They have a great defense.
Historically great defense.
Historically great defense. Their offense is so bad, I don't know what to do with them. And so, just give me the Seahawks. I don't want to touch the Texans.
All right. I'm going to take the Seahawks as well. I'm going to do it a little simpler. The best player on the field is going to play for Seattle. So, there you go.
JSN?
Yep. The only guy close to him is probably Will Anderson. I mean, I'm trying to think of anyone that would be close to him. Stingley's good. He's engaged now, so congrats, Derek Stingley.
Oh, Nick Chubb on the Texans.
Yeah, Nick Chubb. Way better than Jackson Smith and Jigba.
And at his best, he was.
Oh, jeez.
All those 2 years ago.
Now you're just lying. Now you're just lying. That's just...
I miss Nick Chubb. Back in the good old days.
Yeah, back in Cleveland. By the way, we didn't talk about this. You said Joe Flacco couldn't do this in Cleveland. 2 years ago he did. That's how it felt good. You know,
I currently with his best option being...
But it kind of felt like that game against Houston, not the playoff game, but the regular season game when Amari Cooper had like 270 yards or something. That's what tonight felt like. So congrats to Joe Flacco.
That Browns team back then had actual guys that could get open and score. His Browns team now, his best option is Harold Fannin. If it's not him, it's
David
Jerry
Njoku.
Jeudy or Isaiah Bond.
David Njoku.
Njoku's hurt now, and also Njoku's being outplayed by Fannin. I don't want to hear this Njoku talk.
And Njoku's probably still their second best option outside of Fannin.
Maybe, but they're not like an aerial attack. And Flacco, even though he's old, he can still chuck it to the best guys, but they don't have the stars like a Chase.
Did you see the Browns are paying 8 quarterbacks right now in the NFL?
I did not, but that's absurd.
They're paying Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Shadur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. Who else are they paying? Deshaun Watson. Jameis Winston is still making $2.2 million from him, and I think there's another. Oh, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and
Huntley
that might be
with
it. It might just been
preseason.
7. I don't think Huntley's still under contract. I think he just signed like a bi-week contract, but. Yeah, there are a lot of quarterbacks under that payroll for Go Cleveland.
Well, good for them. Maybe they could add them all together and have one good quarterback.
Not going to happen, bro. Their good quarterback is playing football in Tampa Bay, Florida.
Oh, Baker, yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to
that's
say
where he's at.
85.
Yeah.
God, the Browns really suck, honestly. I feel bad for that whole fan base. Like,
I don't feel bad for them. Put themselves in this situation. They gave up on Baker to get Deshaun Watson.
I feel bad for the fans, I said, not the executives that made the decision.
They weren't really fighting to keep Baker. They were throwing him under the bus. They were believing Odell's dad. Like, come on now.
Well, we'll see. Adam, thank you for letting me host this podcast. It's a rare sight, and you can see some things don't work. Like me not being able to say the Texans and mistaking them for 5 other
I
teams.
almost took the Texans. I almost did. I like
I
Houston.
think you should.
I'm not going to, but I almost did.
I just want to
I
change your mind like the way you've changed mine.
No, because I lock in. I make my picks like on Wednesday every week, and I just stay committed, and it's worked so far. So not percentage wise, but I'm
I
beating
usually
you.
change
So
my mind right before kickoff, and then I just like can easily see how the game goes in my head. And then I'm like, up too late, lost it all.
I don't even remember who I picked when I watched the games. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch. Have fun. It's more fun that way. Then at the end, I'm like, oh, I got that one right. My guess I didn't get that one right. Oh well.
Back
No.
in the day, back when I was young and in college, all those years ago, I
Yeah.
once had a perfect week, and I felt like I was the smartest person. And now I'm just watching like every pick I made flip in the last like few drives. It's really upsetting.
Yeah. It's you ride the wave. You ride the wave. So Chris, just quick tangent off topic. Do you think there's going to be a baseball season in 2027?
No.
Neither do I. The Dodgers are ruining it. They're absolutely it's not even close. It's
Oh,
just
not. I was just gonna say. I just feel like there's gonna be like a lockout and
that's why. But the
Yeah.
everyone said if the Brewers could beat the Dodgers, maybe there wouldn't be a lockout. But the Brewers are
Oh, I
not
see
going to
what you're
beat the
saying.
Dodgers because the Dodgers pitching staff makes more than the entire Brewers organization.
I
Oh,
mean, there are players who single-handedly make more than an entire organization. I remember when
yeah.
Mike Trout got his deal; he got paid more than like 20 teams.
Shohei Ohtani doesn't though. He only makes $2 million a year.
Man of the people.
Yeah.
Baseball's they just really can't figure that out, and they want to just add these rules in. You can't change how paying someone works while people are still under
I know. They
contract.
got to find a way to grandfather it in. Like they got.
Yeah, like in 10 years this will take effect or something. Like
Yeah.
in the NBA they did this too. It's like, all right, second apron, and it's like, what the hell? I just built my whole team assuming I could have them on the same team. Now you can't.
And I
Like,
guess you
it's
could just
annoying.
luxury tax it, where it's like it's a choice. Then I don't know, because like baseball right now is the thing where they just sell at the deadline anyway. So I mean,
But like Juan Soto and the Mets, if they do a salary cap, he would be the whole team. Like that's
well,
not
yeah,
going to work.
the Blue Jays have that problem. They signed Vlad to 14 years, 500 million. Like a lot
Yeah.
of teams have that issue right now.
Baseball's problem is they have. I think they should change it to make the contract shorter term. Because if there's no limit, like we see in basketball, it works so much better. Maybe you could do like maximum like 6 years, but like Alonso wants 7 years. He's over 30. He's probably not going to age well. He's a power guy whose
Yeah.
power numbers go down every year. This year was his best year in a long time. And I was like, all right, 7 years. And if you don't give it to him, he's going to leave and find some desperate team. That sucks. But if it was a 4-year deal that was expensive, the Mets would probably do it because it's only 4 years. You could suffer through the last 2 years. But now you're going to have 5 bad years after, whatever. It's just stupid. Stupid baseball. They're set up so poorly, and then they try to change it, but you can't because there's guys who have contracts that would not make it possible.
I don't mind the long contracts. It's nice knowing I get Vlad for the next 14 years. It's real nice. I love every second of it.
I mean, I like the idea of it until, Vlad all of a sudden sucks, and then you're stuck with him for 7 years.
I'll always have this playoff run. Like that, Max Scherzer earned
That's what you say now, but like I don't think that way. About like last year, the Mets had one of the best seasons I could ever remember. I don't remember that as
I
well
was
as I
in
do
the
about-
stadium that watched Vlad Guerrero hit a grand slam and they beat the Yankees in the playoffs. I'll always have it. I'll always have
I
it.
watched Daniel Murphy hit a home run at Citi Field. I remember thinking this is the best moment. I don't care what happens.
But Chris, did you have the moment of them beating their biggest rival and then Vlad Guerrero and David Ortiz on Fox after the game going, "Da Yankees lose." Awesome.
Well, before we hit an hour, I'm supposed to be our shortest episode. I'm just going to end it there.
Come on.
We all have recency bias. The series after the Mets lost, or after the Mets beat the Cubs, lose the Royals, then I'm upset again. I forget about the whole great win.
Nope,
That's how sports
I
work.
remember. I was there. I don't know how many playoff Blue Jays games I'm going to get.
I
They're
was
in
there
Toronto.
too.
They're
The Mets never make
yeah,
it.
but you could get to other ones. I got to go to a whole other country to watch my team play in the playoffs. I know.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Not that far though. But thank you all for listening and listening to our crazy nonsense. Follow us on social media. We have an X account. We have Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We were probably listening to this podcast, but we also have shorts posted almost every day. Adam, anything else?
Penn State gonna get a new coach, but they play Iowa this week. Love them against Iowa. Also, if Penn State's listening, Brian Hartline. Just my suggestion, Brian Hartline.
Yes, come to Adam for your football questions. I just ask him the same questions. Follow us on our socials. Stay tuned. Next episode will be Sunday night after those Week 7 games, so stay tuned. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.